Peace. Kofa, G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Wake your ugly ass up. What is going on, y'all? Happy Monday. Hope you had a good holiday. I've been wishing you a good holiday all weekend. Glad everybody has made it here, made it safe. Hopefully you ate good, chilled. Told you about my experience at the Jazz Festival here in Atlanta this weekend. So I hope everybody had as good a time as I did. Again, this is the G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. I'm your host, Kofa, K-O-F-A, not coffee, not kufu, not Kofi, or any variation thereof. Kofa rhymes with sofa. It's easy to say, it's easy to spell. This is G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. I appreciate everybody being in the building tonight. Let me go ahead and get to these comments. Had a couple come in early, so we're going to go ahead and check them out. Quiet Storm in the building, as always. He says, Growth Talk with Kofa, stepping his game up on the thumbnails. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for noticing, because I sure have been focused. Yes, I have. Hold on, let me get to my sound effects. Thank you, brother. Give myself and you a hand clap for that. Corey Joe says, absolutely. Thank you for that, brother. I thank y'all for noticing. Salute to Eric. Appreciate you being in here, brother. I think that's all the comments for right now. Y'all see I'm outside chilling again. You already know what's nearby. Oh, I had another comment come in. Baltimore in the building. Smoking, talking this thing again. Salute to y'all. Appreciate all the hard work you guys have been putting in. I was in Theo's chat yesterday. It was good seeing other people in there, other content creators in there taking inventory, like I always say, taking accountability, trying to get some more information. Appreciate Theo for dropping that yesterday. I know he may not like to be called a teacher or whatnot, but that was a solid ass course yesterday, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get into the preliminaries, the general housekeeping. You already know what I say. I've been going live every day in May, since like the last day in April, all the way up to now. I'm almost at 30 days straight. No, I think today actually makes the 30th day. So if I have new viewers, hit the subscribe button for me. If I got to earn it, that's fine. I respect that. The work is going to continue. I'm not going nowhere. So you might as well go ahead and hit subscribe, because I got some more heat coming for you this week. Hit the like button. Take your shoes off before you come in my house. That's the one rule we have here right now. I'll add rules as we go. But the one rule is hit the like button. It's also free. Help me with the algorithm. Help me keep rolling this out so other brothers can hopefully gain the confidence, start YouTube's, seeing me do what I do, because that's the way I got my confidence, watching others move, how they were moving. So hit the like button. Help me get into that algorithm. Help me push this thing a little bit more. But I really want you to hit that subscribe as well. Again, I'm on the push to 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. So I'm probably going to hit my subscribers before I hit my watch hours from the way my analytics is looking, but I'm okay with that. Again, the work is going to continue. Enough with preliminaries and the housekeeping. Again, thank everybody for being in here. Y'all see I learned 14 different things from the thumbnail, 14 lessons I learned about leadership being in the Army. So we're going to hit it quick. Again, I told you I got to do the quote unquote boring stuff, but I think this is important. Being that it is Memorial Day, we're recognizing those in the military that didn't make it home. As the saying goes for the military, all gave some and some gave all. Some old dude told me one time, if you put that uniform on, something wrong with you. Meaning you broke down in some damn way. You done gave something to the military, to the country. But some of us didn't make it back home. So salute to those. Let's see. Had to get my puff in real quick. So we're going to go ahead and start with my branch of the military, which is the Army. So we have 7 Army values. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen. I am going to read to y'all, because I know other people are moving around doing different things like that. But I think you guys should be able to see this. But 7 Army, the core Army values across, whatever rank you are, it doesn't matter. We all got our different creeds. There's a soldier's creed just for generally being in the Army. And then you have your NCO creed, which is what I am, a non-commissioned officer. There's an officer creed, there's a warrant officer creed. Even working for the federal government, I have a civilian creed. So we got different creeds. But this is the core, once again, the foundation I keep talking about of what the Army represents. And I know there's some out there that don't represent this well, but this is our core. This is what we're supposed to live by. And if you can see phonetically or through the acronym, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. All of that, the acronym together, spells what? Leadership. I know it doesn't spell it correctly, but that's the acronym. We're spelling leadership. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go ahead and get into it. So loyalty, and I'm going to bring all this together about manhood. So even if you don't believe in the country and the military and all that, that's fine. I don't care. I'm talking about manhood today. So we're going to talk about this. Again, I like to do these self-made Mondays. We'll see how it goes after I go live, finish up this live every day in May thing. But today we're going to talk about just general manhood and leadership. And this is what the Army taught me about leadership. Loyalty. We always talk about being loyal in the streets, being loyal to your friends. It can be, your lady, your gang. Really don't matter to me. Y'all want to talk about loyalty? Here's a definition. To bear true faith and allegiance to the U.S. Constitution, the Army, your unit, and other soldiers. Remove the Constitution, remove the country talk, remove the Army talk. To bear true faith and allegiance to something. What the fuck do y'all believe in? I don't care about the religion. I don't care about whether you're non-religious, whatever faith you're walking in, who you are as a man. What do you believe in? Do you believe in the family structure? Do you want to be that head of household in real life? Do you want to be that leader that black women are keep screaming for, which I know a lot of brothers are? Well, let's go ahead and break this down today. So again, we can take inventory and flesh it out, because our women keep hollering about leadership. And I know I've been in a leadership position as far as being a father, a stepfather. I told y'all some of that. Again, being in the military, being different things to different people for a leadership position as far as they're looking at it. So that can be a mentor or anybody just giving you game. So loyalty, what are you loyal to? Only y'all can answer that individually. We got to come together collectively and stay on code, or get on code, as we say in the black community. But what are we loyal to? Duty. Fulfill your obligations. Plain and simple. This one's on the nose. Kevin Samuels used to speak about it all the time. When he was saying, who said that you get to be happy? And he was saying that to women. But guess what? It also applies to men as well. Who said you get to be happy? Now, I have a little bit of disagreement with St. Kevin, RIP, but you do get to be happy in your life as far as Kofa is concerned. But do you take care of your duties? He used to talk about marriage being in the context of women need to do X, Y, and Z. Men need to do X, Y, and Z in the context of marriage, because it was for their duty as a husband and a wife. I'm talking about just strip away the titles. You as a man, as an individual, do you fulfill your obligations? Nigga, is your word good? If you tell somebody you're going to be there at a certain time, are you there? Or are you always showing up late? Did you backtrack on something you said? Did you take back something you gave? Did you say you're going to do something and you didn't execute? And I don't mean not executing as in you failed or you didn't do a good job, but you just didn't do what you said you were going to do. Do you fulfill your obligations? Duty. We're going to keep on working the list. Respect. Chief among men, what women want as far as love is what men want as far as respect. I did the work. Y'all see how this shit is rolling down the list, right? One thing the Army is good at is compartmentalizing and putting shit in a timeline, in a time frame. So you start out with loyalty, right? Okay, I'm loyal to this. Now this is my duty and obligation to take care of this, whether it's a woman, your child, but chiefly among those, as I keep saying, is you. Are you loyal to yourself? Because sometimes we put ourselves in situations where we're being disloyal to who we are and the way we grew up and our personal creed. the things that we value. We go against our personal values a lot of time to please others. So what are you loyal to? Now you have the duty to protect that and do what the hell you said you're going to do. And then respect, treat people as they should be treated. You're treating people how you want to be treated, right? The golden rule. Some shit we learned back in kindergarten. Respect is big amongst men. Again, use a Kevin Samuels talking point. When two men are going back and forth, or jabs or whatever are thrown verbally, or just being in the space together, there is always a low level potential of violence. We know what not to say to each other out of respect, even if you don't like the dude. It's certain shit that we're going to stay away from. It's certain pressure points that we're not going to hit with that dude verbally, because that's going to cause us to start moving furniture, as I say, meaning we're fighting. I'm going to pause real quick, get over to the comments. Who else slid in here? Corey Joe was in, Smoke Talk. Salty Fighter Biker, what it do, Kofa? Salute to all the vets. Salute to you. Let's see, Corey Joe says the code is definitely necessary because it seems our community has the code of thieves, no honor. Big facts.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
There's a big problem we do have in our community. And all this is going to tie in. It's going to tie in. I know everybody hasn't put on the uniform. Everybody doesn't have that same walk of life or that same military experience that I may have. And any of those of you who have put on the uniform, I don't care if it's Air Force, Marines, whatever, we all take jabs at each other across branches. But let me know in the chat, man, if y'all ever put on that uniform, war, police uniform. It doesn't matter, because then you're joining something that's bigger than you. And a lot of people say that, but it really is. If you're not inside of it, you really don't understand. If you're not close to somebody who's involved in that, you're really not going to know the ins and outs of what's going on until you actually live that life or that close to it where it can affect you if you know somebody who does wear the uniform. So again, respect. Treat people as they should be treated. Again, the golden rule. This one's simple. It's some kindergarten shit. I'm gonna slide on. Selfless service. This one is probably my favorite of the Army values because, again, this kind of goes back to my natural people-pleasing nature. I like shit simple. I like shit easy. So again, if I'm going to treat people the way I want to be treated, that means that I'm not afraid to sacrifice a little bit of time. But that's where the balance comes back in, and it ties back to loyalty. I was disloyal to myself because I gave up too much. However, you have to exercise selfless service in order to be a leader. We'll talk about that in a little while when I add on the other 7 additional tips. But selfless service, put the welfare of the nation, the army, and subordinates before your own. All this boiling down is, are you loyal? Do you have a duty? Do you respect your people to exercise selfless service? Again, take out the nation, take out the army terms, inject your kids, inject your job that has done right by you. Because everybody, it's so many Americans that hate their job, right? But there are people that actually love what they do, and they found their footing, whether it was early, later on in life. You found your footing. That job treated you well, you treated the job well. When it's time to go, it's time to go and retire. There's certain things that you're working for, right? Just like with people, you've given to somebody else, the natural expectation is to receive it. Unfortunately, when that isn't met, sometimes we tend to bog ourselves down, and that's when real walls go up and nobody wants to do anything for anybody. Unfortunately, the way I'm looking at it, that's kind of where society is now. We're in this hyper individualistic era here in America, probably across the globe. You're seeing more and more people get selfish. I think, who was that down in Miami? Jason. This often in here in the chat. Jason was saying how he's seeing women from the Hispanic and Latinx community starting to pick up these American traits of, I'm not doing that, I want to do that has money, this, that, and the third, right? So it's going to this hyper individualistic society that we're in right now. I won't even say it's going to it. We're already in it. So selfless service is a big one. is to do right by your neighbor. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got like 5 neighbors, like immediate houses on the side of me across the street from me, where I have their number, know their names, know their family members, not in and out like that, but we have a good rapport that if something don't look right, we text, we call. It's not just dropping something in the neighbor app and then hoping somebody sees it. We call. I need help with this. They needed help with that. I've helped a couple of single moms move stuff around because she ain't got no man. Can say I'm simping, but guess what? I need to build that rapport of that selfless service to help somebody out, help out my neighbor. That's who I have to be loyal to, because guess what? When I do get that call for military duty and I'm gone a month, 2, 3 months, maybe even longer at a time, I need somebody to watch my fucking house to make sure that nobody's just breaking in or just hovering around the house or casing my house to kick in my door while I'm gone or while I'm there. So again, selfless service is a big one to me, and it's so fucking easy. We get so bogged down with ego, and that's where we got to check the expectation, because guess what, bro? Everybody ain't you. Everybody not you. You can look out for somebody today, and they might try to cut your throat tomorrow. You got to know as a man that you did what you were supposed to do as a leader and be able to walk away from that shit and cut certain people off. Get over here to the comments. Salty Fighter Biker says it's the oath to the Constitution. Purpose. We say it all the time. Define your purpose as a man. What is your purpose as a man? Find your purpose. Focus on your purpose. We say purpose, 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 purpose all the time in these men-centric spaces. It's been repeated. It's a echo chamber. It's constant. But guess what? It's real as hell. What are you doing? That goes back to duty. Do you fulfill your obligations? Because if that's your purpose, what you're supposed to be working on, your individual job, your personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Desires, your dreams, when it boils down to it, your personal projects. Are you taking care of what you need to be taken care of? Again, I was talking with Broken Traditions. You guys know him. He issued the Everyday in May challenge, and I've been going hard. Y'all see the content. I've met some of y'all, through these internet streets, these YouTube streets, because I was going so hard in May. But guess what? I got a 9 to 5. So I got duty and obligations that I got to fulfill, and then I come on at 7 and have conversations with y'all and get information from y'all. Y'all have taught me a lot by just sharing some of your stories in the chat. So as we go forward and I start, I solidify my time frames here going forward, probably on into June. I'm probably going to keep playing with it. Y'all see me go live a little bit more in June as well. But when I settle in on my live days and just pushing out content, I do want to start bringing some of you guys up on camera when you're comfortable to share your stories, because I know I'm not fucking crazy. I know I'm not by myself. And my goddamn cigar went out again, running my damn mouth. Hold on. All right. So we're going to go ahead and keep running the list. So we got loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, and honor. Honor. Live up to all the Army values. Take away Army, take the A and the R off of Army and use the M and the Y. And live up to all my values. Live up to my values. Again, this is an individualistic conversation, and not in a bad way. Not the selfishness that we have going on in society. I want us to be better men. Again, fathers, husbands, boyfriends, bachelors, whether or not you got kids, don't matter. You just got to be a better man. This is part of it. You can still walk in leadership even if nobody wants to follow you. That's not on you. That's something I had to learn recently. Again, I got a story coming for y'all ass. But that's something I had to learn recently, where a lot of black men in particular are second guessing our leadership skills because our women are just piss poor followers. Army story. I had a great sergeant. Had a piece of shit soldier right beside me, and I wanted to fight this motherfucker. He was sorry as fuck. It was like, why did you put on the uniform if you don't want to damn do the work? It's just like, why in the hell did you fill out the application for the city and you ain't want to pick up trash? You knew you was lazy as fuck. You think you just gonna show up and get a check and not have to bust a sweat? We not rocking like that. So had a great leader in front of me, and that's who I kind of mirrored myself after and tried to walk in his footsteps as I'm continuing through my Army career. For those that don't know, I've been in 15 years, 5 more to go, and I'm calling it quits. But I'm trying to walk his path, and I've had a couple of soldiers that wanted to try me. Cool, that's what paperwork is for. That's what conversations are for before we even get to the paperwork. Because maybe I am missing something as a leader. We'll get to that in a second. I got to be able to step out of my shoes and understand, hey, maybe I did make a mistake here. Maybe I did make a mistake there with this individual person, or collectively, leading this group. So honor is big because those are my values. You see where honor is? It says live up to all, again, take out the Army, live up to all my values. That's right behind selfless service. So are you that type of person that's willing to give? Because if you're going to give to them, I know you expect it, but guess what? It may not come back again. So give, be able to be okay with not getting it back, and keep your fucking honor. Why? Because that's your value, to give, to offer respect, to fulfill your obligations, to be loyal to something else besides yourself. Keep on running. Integrity. Do what's right, legally and morally. One of the biggest lessons I learned in basic training, and I take this shit with me in my personal life. By the way, these are Army values, but again, I want y'all to inject them in your personal lives. With integrity, that means doing the hard right versus the easy wrong. Because it's going to look like the right thing when everybody else is doing it. Again, like your grandma used to say, if everybody jumped off a cliff, would you do it? But integrity is also a big one. I love selfless service because that's who I am. But right behind that for me is integrity. Did you do the right thing when nobody was looking? When you know you weren't going to get that pat on the back? When nobody was going to tell you, hey, good job? Because guess what? They didn't see you do it, and they may have even seen you do it and still be like, just give you that side eye. Say some little slick ass, snide ass shit, and you want to crack them in the fucking nose. But you know what? You know better. You're going to move better as a man. You're going to keep leading by example. You got fucking integrity. When I say legally and morally, ethics, that shit matters, man. Sometimes, a lot of times in our community, it looks like the dudes that are winning are the dudes that are running in the street, fucking up the community. But we know that's not true. Because when you break it down, 50 Cent said something before he became the 50 that we knew when he was, selling drugs or whatnot. And he broke it down after he became famous and why he said he started taking rap serious. He was thinking one day, and he said that the amount of time that he was going to get versus the money that he was making running the streets, he was basically making minimum wage. He thought he had some dough running the streets, but compared to the amount of time he was looking at if he got caught, he was basically making minimum wage. And if brothers step out of their zone for a second, again, taking inventory and look at the life you're leading and where it's going to lead you to, again, you today, take care of you tomorrow. What are you really doing? What are you trying to do? What are you aiming to do is going to be so different from your peers, legally and morally, where you're stepping outside of this box of your neighborhood or whatever city you live in. Because we can get trapped in those things. Like I told y'all, I was so glad I got out of Alabama. I'm so glad that I got out of the smaller size city that I was in Georgia. I'm glad to be here in Atlanta. I'm glad that there's more competition, which is what I hear from a lot of people of why they won't move to a big city. But if you can navigate, for though I know Smoker Talk is in Baltimore, big city, major city in the U.S. If you can navigate that to this point, there's no limit to what the fuck you can do going forward. Don't give a damn about your age. You can impact somebody because you have integrity. That means you are the walking example. It's another term in the Army we use called be, know, do. You got to embody something. You got to know your craft and execute it. That's the do part. It's not just milling around. Again, this challenge came to me for May. I had a couple of you guys was like, Kofa, you've been going hard. bro, it makes me feel good because I wanted to give you quality content. I didn't want to just go hard in May just for quantity. Just to say, hey, I went live every day in May. And I told y'all that in the beginning, remember? I said, hey, some days I'm gonna phone this shit in. Y'all done seen those couple of live, I'll be like, man, we're gonna be on here a couple of minutes a day. The boy tired. Yesterday, hell, I really was a little bit under the weather. I shook that shit off. I'm good today. But it's been those days I was tired. But even in that, I still think we had a good flow of conversation. So integrity is a big one, man. Doing the hard right versus the easy wrong. Doing what's right legally, morally, ethically. Again, goes right back to your values. Y'all see the way this shit is flowing, right? Let's get to, hold up. Look, y'all, I bought these motherfuckers. I smoke them to the nub. So forgive me if I keep relining. I know y'all like, Kofa smoking on that little ass shit. You're like, hey, look, man, I paid for this bitch. This motherfucker gonna get smoked. Last one of the Army values. Personal courage. To face fear, danger, and adversity, physical or moral. You see that's the last one, right? It all comes back to you. And it's on the bottom, not because it's the least important, but that's the foundation. Your personal courage circles right back to loyalty at the beginning. What are you loyal to? It goes, your personal courage is, hey, I gotta fulfill these obligations no matter what. Your personal courage goes back to respect. You're showing respect to people, being an example. Selfless service, putting the welfare of something or someone else, something bigger than yourself, before you. Personal courage. While everybody is saying, man, fuck that shit, I'm not gonna do it, you know it's the right thing to do. Your honor. Personal courage. I'm going to live out the values that I have attained, that my parents put into me, that the old heads gave me, because it fucking matters. Personal courage. Right back to your integrity. Are you doing the right thing when nobody's looking? And only you can answer these. So these are the first 7 tips, first 7 lessons that I learned about leadership from over my 15 years of being in the Army. Again, these are our core values. So from day one, I had to remember this shit. And the Army is good at acronyms. Again, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. Take the first letter off of each, and what does it spell? Leadership. I know it misspells it, that's why it's an acronym. For those that may see this and want to say some slick shit. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. Leadership. These are the Army values, but you can exercise them in your personal life. Before we get to the next 7 tips, let me slide over here. Had some comments come in. Quiet Storm says, keep pushing. Appreciate it, brother. I definitely am. Quiet Storm says, shout out to the Army values. Salute for that. Yes, man, they matter, because guess what? Even when I leave the Army, I'm still going to take this shit with me. Sean from the Shy in here.
You go, girl!
Sean says, good evening, Chef Kofa. What it do, baby? Baking a whipping cream pound cake right now. God damn it, I want some. I really just put on some coffee right before I stepped out here. So I'm going to watch that game, sip on some coffee, and relax this evening with another stick. But again, appreciate everybody being in here. And for those that may see this, my other soldiers, because you know in the Army we're supposed to be clean shaven and all that. So that picture that I have with the beard on, there's a certain length my beard can be. I have a shaving profile because when I put that razor on my face, it bumps up under here. It's not pretty. So yes, those from the military background, they're like, this dude didn't even shave while he was in uniform. Bitch, I got a shaving profile. Leave me alone. So now that that is done, let me bring it back on me real quick. So yes, leadership is big, man. It really is, because we keep asking for it in our community, but then we want to try to define it so many different ways. And still, unfortunately, when it comes to relationships, it keeps boiling down to the guy that gets the most box, right? That's who looked at as a leader and gets respect in our community a lot. It's solid brothers out here that are actual leaders that aren't getting their just due. That's why I say I want to help men find a positive fuck it. Somebody disrespected you, fuck it. Don't let nobody trick you off the streets by whooping somebody's ass or physically harming somebody in a way where you got to sit down a significant amount of years because you didn't have that control of, or you didn't check your ego from somebody disrespecting me, or they didn't give me my just due. I said something before. When you're saying you want somebody to give you your just due, it's not theirs to give. Listen to the sentence. I want my due respect. My due respect. It's yours. Take that shit. Hold on to it. If they ain't with you, fuck them. Find something else to be loyal to. And I'm not telling you to be disloyal, but there's certain people that just aren't going to rock with your, let me get back to that. They're not going to rock with your selfless service. They're not going to rock with what you value, your honor. They're just not. And it is what it is. We got to get a hold of this shit in our community and really become the leaders that I know most of us have already been aiming to become and working to become. Because I know even though I'm giving you the Army values and the acronym of leadership, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage, I already know y'all living like that. The majority of y'all listening to my content, or you wouldn't be here. I already know y'all living like that. You was already moving like this before you knew what the fuck an Army value was. We talk about honor, duty, respect, loyalty all the time. The only ones that we may not have truly discussed as a community or as black men in general is selfless service and personal courage. And just in those terms, right? Because we talked about the act of those two things, but maybe not in those specific military terms. Y'all are already focused on your leadership. And being a leader, these are the qualities that you're already living. So I'm not giving you, quote unquote, any new information for real. I just had to jog your memory. Sometimes I'm that cold water that somebody just splashed on you and you, ugh. I got to remind young brothers, because guess what? Y'all reminded me that I matter, that I'm not crazy, that I need to make better choices. That's part of being a leader as well. Slide over to the comments. Anything else come in? Sean says, anytime you want cake, I'll make it. I sent you an email yesterday, have an interesting subject for you. It relates to what you talk about with the stepdads. Thank you for that, Sean. And I did see the email come in. I was out and about yesterday trying to, enjoy the day here in Atlanta. Came home, gave a quick live, but I did get it, and I am going to respond to this. I really appreciate it. Flawless in the building.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
Salute to you and the rest of the Growth family, brother. We're going to go ahead and slide over here. I'm going to share this screen of my Word document. I wrote some additional things down. So those are the first 7 things that the Army taught me. Literally the first. When I went into basic training, you got to know these Army values before I learned any of the other creeds. Know these Army values, because this is what's going to take you from being a private to wherever you land at the end of your career. That was for all of us. Leadership. The Army military period is big on leadership. Again, I told you what two my favorite were: selfless service and having integrity. But that foundational one, personal courage, is not last because it's least. It's last because it's foundational. It's on the bottom. You build the rest of it from that one. But let's keep on going. Let me share this screen real quick. Make sure we're good on that. Where the hell is my document? Hold on. Bam. There we go. All right. Let me get back to y'all. All right, cool. So y'all see me on the screen? All right, cool. So 7 more tips. Again, this may not be a long live tonight, but I wanted to hit this because it was important. Again, especially for Memorial Day. 7 more tips. Number 1, communication is key. Again, a lot of this shit I'm sharing with y'all fucking know. Communication is key. In the Army, we learn how to communicate in a clear, concise manner, which is essential for effective leadership. Clear and concise. Please pay attention to those two words. Clear and concise manner. You don't want to overbear somebody with your leadership. By that I mean telling them to do shit over and over and over again. Because one, you should have already been the example. Two, you should have been engaged with the people that you're leading, whether it's your family, your homeboys, people at the job. You should have already been engaged with them so they can see what we say right looks like. Another Army term. Show people what right looks like. Make sure they're good. It's another term I heard. This one wasn't from the Army. It was, I forgot where I heard it, but I've heard it a couple of times over my life. So it's show me and I'll forget. No, tell me and I'll forget. Show me and I might remember. Involve me and I'll learn. I'm going to say it again. Tell me and I'll forget. Involve me and I will learn. Take that as a leader. Be able to tell, show them, and involve them, and involve yourself. People learn through repetition. It's not just going to be verbal. You have to be able to execute. Once again, shout out Kevin Samuels. He always used to talk about, I get results. I get results. Nobody can argue with him because he was saying he got results. You can disagree, hate his tone of voice, all that jazz. At the end of the day, he got positive results. Number 2, lead from the front. What does that mean, Kofa? As a leader, it is important to set an example. What did we just say? It is important to set an example for those around you, and you lead by example. They're going to follow what you're doing. If there is a group of people that are doing some shit that's totally left of what you know to be the right thing to do, those are followers of followers. Those aren't the solid followers that you need in order to really push you to another leadership status. Because when you have the right followers, they're going to grow. And it may become a situation where the student becomes the teacher. And that's okay. That means you did your job as a leader. If you have people following behind you, whether it's certain things that you lead them in with your homeboys, there might be a guy that's an example for the family. He got his group of friends, but he has a beautiful family. That's his leadership status. So when you're going through your relationships, that's the guy you can lead to. Might be another guy who's just good with the ladies. You may not be that good. Ask him what he's doing, seeing how he's moving. Again, Kevin Samuels, cologne, dressing different. Might be somebody at the job. It's a new piece of equipment that you know, they may not know. You might have picked it up like that. You got to show them. People learn through repetition. That's all of us, myself included. So lead from the front. Hey, we're going this way. Make that tough decision and keep on rolling. Because guess what? If you're in the front, that means you got to be willing to take the brunt of the bullets when that shit is flying at your group. Whatever your respective group is, whatever walk of life you may be in. Number 3, adaptability. In the Army, I'm saying Army, but understand I'm talking about your personal life again. In the Army, we learned that things don't always go as planned, and that being adaptable is crucial for success. You got to be flexible, y'all. You got to be able to, okay, this was the plan. Hey, I'm a leader. I made a decision. I'm leading by example. I'm leading from the front. Here we go. Oh shit, monkey wrench. What are you going to do? Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. Use boxing for an example. We seen who was that? Tank and Garcia fight a couple of weeks ago, right? Garcia was getting some good jabs in, things like that. He caught Tank once. Tank adapted and learned. And what did he do? Call him with a body shot. Everybody's watching boxing so you can lay them out. But he caught him with a body shot and won. You got to be able to adapt when you get knocked down. You got to be able to adapt and be flexible when things don't go as planned. You're at the job, you waiting on a load to get picked up. Got a homeboy that's a trucker. He had to adapt because he was going out on the road for 2 months. He was like, man, I'm gonna run up these checks. He got out there within the first couple of weeks. They started talking. He was involved, well, not involved, but kind of directly impacted when those shipping containers were sitting out there on the water some months ago, right after, the big actual COVID break, and all those barges were just sitting out all in the water, and we weren't getting shipments in, and supplies started getting low. He didn't have a lot of loads he could pick up, so his plan derailed. What he was going to make in 2 months, he had to adjust. He could only make in 3 or 4 weeks, and had to come back home. But while he was back home, he said, you know what, I got a little bit of time off. He sat down and he planned for his next move in trucking. And I'll be damned, when those wheels started rolling again and all the, the shipping started going back and forth, he had already had a plan, applied for this other trucking school, got into the school, went back on the road one more time, quit that job, took the test. He failed it like once or twice, then understood what the school was doing wrong, went to a different school and passed on the first try. Because he was adaptable. He didn't just sit at home hoping and waiting. He used his time wisely. He did the boring shit. He studied for another test, applied, got into the school, realized this school was on some bullshit teaching it wrong, because again, he has trucking OGs he had talked to, went to a different school. Instead of changing his goal, he just changed up his strategy. He was adaptable and flexible, and he's winning right now because of it. Number 4, take care of your team. As a leader, it's important to take care of those under you, under your command, and prioritize their needs. Going right back to selfless service. Sometimes, even as a leader, you're the least important. Because you're leading people, you want them to follow you, but you're not taking care of your people. Use the Army term. You're not taking care of your soldiers. You know that soldier has a medical emergency, has a family emergency. Again, you can't be flexible. The team can't adapt. That's your job as a leader. If your team can't adapt to one person being out, that's a problem. You didn't lead them. Everybody goes right back to what I say all the time. It's better to know a little bit about a lot than a lot about a little bit. You're going to have people that specialize in certain things, but guess what? When that person falls, when that person gets sick, when that person dies, who's going to step into that role? It should be somebody in your immediate team until you can actually fulfill your role, fulfill that role with another specialist in that particular area. I'm speaking in broad and general terms right now because I know everybody has a different background and all of our jobs look different. But again, that's why I'm speaking in broad and general terms. But you're supposed to have people in place that can fulfill each other's roles, or you have to step in that role as a leader. You got to step in that role and get your hands dirty again. Just because you reach this level don't mean you don't have to come back down and restart and restructure. Let me get over here to the comments real quick. Corey Joe says, that's a short, brother. Please remind me of what it is and I will try to drop that. Corey Joe. Corey Joe says, another short. Corey, you got to hit me on the email, man, so I can actually read them and execute them. Antonio in the building.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Wrong button, but.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
What's going on, Antonio? For those that don't know, Antonio up on the screen right now, he was my sergeant for a good little minute. Solid brother. And it don't hurt that he from Alabama. Roll Tide. But solid brother, good leader, did his time and left. So today, Rag, I'm just going over I went over the 7 Army values that spells out leadership and just adding in some more tips I wanted to add in. So these are the 14 things that I learned from the military. Let me get back to the comments again real quick. Flawless says this is absolutely necessary information for ultimate elevation in your life, King Kofa. Salute. Appreciate it, brother.
Hotter than fish grease.
Sean says, cakes in the oven, so now I'm able to chat. These principles you speak on apply in all of our lives. Exactly.
You go, girl!
That's why Sean over there baking up cakes and shit. Now I'm hungry. I grilled today. I'm gonna pivot from the topic real quick. So I grilled today, man. I made some burgers and mac and cheese, and I grilled the corn, and I had one of those, the half salmon, the long, man, I'm finna fuck that shit up during this game. But yeah, just a quick pivot. But I said all that to say I grilled, I got down. I ain't make my ass no damn dessert. I think I might have some ice cream in there. I don't know. I'll find out during the game. All right, back to the topic. So, well, it was number 4. Yeah, take care of your team, man. It really is. I was on orders a while for the military. Again, I'm in the reserve, but I was on active duty orders for a minute. And I was sharing some stuff with my dad. He did 30 years active duty. God bless him. He's still kicking, but God bless him because he did 30 years active duty. So when I need to go to somebody for advice, of course I got my dad, and I do have people like Antonio in the chat that I can just call up and like, hey, got a question, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes we'll get to bullshitting and joking, but I always walk away with a little piece of knowledge. So appreciate both of those. But one thing my dad was big on, he was like, I never got to my level without taking care of my soldiers. He was like, your mom used to be mad at me because I would stay at work, but I had to take care of those people because ultimately those people took care of me, which allowed me to take care of y'all. It's always reciprocal. It comes full fucking circle, because guess what? If your soldiers aren't doing, or your followers, your troops, whoever your respective subordinates are at your job, aren't on their job, that's more time that you got to give fixing their fuck ups. Then you gonna get your ass chewed, because everybody got a boss. You gonna get your ass chewed because your team leader, your team isn't executing. We're gonna keep on cooking. Let's see. Number 5, be decisive. In times of crisis, again, when things veer off path, in times of crisis, leaders need to make quick and decisive decisions to ensure the safety and security of the team. That comes down to the family structure again. If daddy's not home and somebody kicking this door, does mama know how to shoot? Do the kids know enough about gun safety? And I know it seems like an extreme example. Do the kids know about gun safety? If something happens to mama, they can protect themselves. Do they simply know how to get out the house? No matter what female I'm dealing with, in whatever capacity, how serious we are or not, I am big on women backing in, on people backing in, period. When you back your car in, it forces you to use all 3 of your mirrors so you can see behind you, just in case somebody may try to creep up if you make that late night run to the liquor store, to see if somebody's going to creep up, and you already have your windshield where you can see out. So you've already checked your full surrounding areas. So I'm big on people, period, backing in, but in particular, like I said, the women that I'm dealing with, because that's my job as a leader and as a man, regardless of the capacity. My form of protection isn't just me physically being there. I need my voice in your head so you understand what to look out for and how to get out certain situations. I ain't saying I'm on some John Wick shit, but be aware of your surroundings. Little things like that. Being decisive. Things go wrong. There's a fire. You can't get to your kid's bedroom. Do they know how to get out the bedroom? Do they know how to go out the window? Do they know how to drop a couple pillows to break their fall? Do they know to go which neighbor's house to go to? If something goes wrong, they can't get in the house. Something crazy happens when they get off the school bus and they can't immediately get home. Do you have some type of plan in place? I pivoted over from, the troops to family structure, but we all have some form of family structure. Do your friends know that, hey, they can leave their car? I got a friend right now, her car's out front. She had to go somewhere. She was, riding with another one of her homegirls, but they're all the way across town. But she know her car is safe here. Little things like that when it comes down to, where was I at? Safety and security. You got to be decisive. Again, a bad decision, and let me take away you feeling bad, check your egos, because we've all made mistakes. but a bad decision is better than indecision. No decision at all. Remember what I said, what I've been saying lately. Being stagnant, that's not the move. Make a decision. Pivot over to where we at. Number 6. Share the credit. Goes back to taking care of your team. Share the credit. Good leaders understand that their success is a result of their team's hard work and give credit where it's due. You want to praise in public and chastise in private. There's no need to embarrass anybody. There's no need to beat up on somebody or try to make a embarrassing or humiliating example out of somebody in front of the rest of the group. Because now you just lost somebody. They lost trust for you, they lost respect for you, and possibly loyalty. So you want to praise in public and chastise in private. They fucking up, hey, we got to go talk. Come walk with me. Whether it's verbal, whether it's a written reprimand at the job, whatever the hell type of conversation needs to take place to correct the behavior, that shit needs to be taken care of in private with that individual. Now, if they want to run out there and tell everybody else that, oh, so-and-so cussed me out and this, that, and the third, let that be them. You be the leader and lead by example. Praise in public, chastise in private. I'm going to read it again. Good leaders understand that their success is a result of their team's hard work and give credit where it's due. I just gave you that example about my pops, making sure his soldiers were taken care of. Sometimes he had to leave the house early, sometimes he got to the house late. But the way he explained that, hey, I got to take care of them so they can take care of me. And then it got to the point where he had his team running on such a well-oiled machine type of basis, he started coming home a little bit early. Because he had them there doing the things they needed to do, and he led by example. Again, tell me I forget, show me I might remember, involve me, and I'll learn. His team was able to learn because my father involved them, which made his life a hell of a lot easier after that first little rough patch of getting them to where they needed to be. Now he could trust them where he didn't have to be there all the time. It's the same thing with me and the soldiers I've had to lead. If I had something to do as a single dad with my daughter, I know my soldiers were able to execute because we done went through this shit 100 times. And plus, I already gave them an additional incentive. Hey, Monday through Thursday, we gonna kill this shit. Matter of fact, Monday through Wednesday, kill this shit. Especially if y'all give me an extra hour at the end of the day or come in a little bit early. Thursday, we chilling. Friday, after lunch, go the fuck home. Who don't want a half day on a Friday? It's different incentives you can give people. And then when they do have when they do execute the shit that you've shown them, praise in public. So-and-so did blah, 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 blah. I know it's the rest of the team, and you'll watch how it permeate. Because positivity can also be a quote-unquote cancer. I know that's not the best analogy to use, but you know, we always say negativity is cancer because it goes from one person to the next. And before you know, your team is in this whole toxic space and nothing's getting done. Nobody gets along, and you don't got to be the best of pals. You don't have to hang out after work, but get the job done. But when you start sharing credit for something positive, and there's an additional incentive for that person to went a little bit above and beyond the rest of the people are going to see that. And that's going to motivate them to, hey, I want that award next time. I want that extra incentive. I want that extra day off. Positivity can also spread. I'm big on positive reinforcement. I check shit when it need to be checked, again in private. But I'm big on positive reinforcement. Because people also learn from that. And they also respect how you handle it, even if they don't like it. That's the thing. You don't got to like me. You don't got to love me. But you go and respect it. And if you can't, then your ass got to go. There's always some type of alternative. There's always some type of end result as a leader. But you have to decide on what to tolerate, what you're not going to put up with, and how you're going to move people out of that space so your team, your crew, your boys can keep rolling. Bring it to the homeboy situation. Nobody wants to keep driving the same drunk ass nigga home or having to leave the club or a place early because your homeboy don't know how to handle his fucking liquor. You got to get him off the team, at least when y'all go to certain places. You can't take him everywhere. Everybody can't go. So again, take these Army tips, apply them to your life, which I'm sure most of you have. Hopefully I'm bringing this shit into context for you where you say, oh shit, I didn't realize I was already doing that. Somebody in your life got you thinking you fucking crazy, and you already going down this whole list of leadership and doing these great, you have these great traits as a leader, and you just may have the wrong follower. So as a leader, you got to be able to walk away from them too. Sometimes it's not just getting rid of them. Sometimes you got to be the one to break camp and dip. You get to surround yourself with the type of people that you can be a leader with. And again, when you're in a room with other leaders, everybody's going to take turns. And the team wins because no one person is just bogged the fuck down. Just like the fucking Avengers. Cap is the leader. We know that shit. When him and Tony Stark or him and Iron Man started infighting and it split up the team, we had a whole, what they call it, Captain America Civil War. The fucking Avengers were infighting. When they finally got back on code, they was able to finally defeat Thanos at the end. Next movie, they got their ass kicked. Why? Because right after the Civil War, while the team was splintered, Thanos came down, found a weak spot. I'm going into my Marvel shit, y'all. I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm nerding out right now. He won. It looked like he won. Team got back together after having to lose damn near everything in order to fucking win. Because guess what? Everybody got their different powers. So it's not all just on Cap to go out there and whoop everybody's ass. Everybody got different powers. Everybody has different abilities to do stuff, and everybody takes turn leading. But at the end of the day, Cap is the leader, but everybody is a leader. Again, those 7 Army values, the Army says it all the time. I don't give a fuck if you're a day one private. You are a leader now. Learn this shit and begin to execute it. Let's close out with number 7. Big one. Big one. Never stop learning. The Army teaches us that leadership skills are continually evolving and leaders should always strive to learn and improve. That simple. Read something new. Look at something new on YouTube. Look at a different TV show. Have a conversation with somebody that you may not have spoken to. Me and Broken Traditions are going to talk about the importance of cigar culture, how we met, why it's so big to get involved in things that may be outside of your purview, to have those conversations with people that you may not have normally spoken to. Slide over to the comments. I'm going to keep on cooking on number 7. Sean says, everyone needs to know gun safety because the man can't always be in the house, but when he is, he will handle business. Exactly, Sean. Corey Joe says, I needed that one. A bad decision is better than indecision.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Salute, Corey Joe. Sean says, half a day on Friday is better than that cake I'm baking. Look, now you got more. You have that half a day on Friday, Sean, and now you got even more time to bake more cakes. But let me get back to number 7. My shit will not stay lit. Running my mouth. All good. I appreciate y'all, man. I really, really do. I hope it goes without saying, but I just like reminding y'all that I really do appreciate it. So the Cash Apps, the PayPals that have come through, the emails, man, y'all keep them coming because it really does motivate me. And again, I'm probably not going to really get through all the emails. I know Corey Joe been hitting me. When I get through this month, these next 2 days, I'm going to really sit down. I'm probably going to restructure. The page is going to look a little bit different. Get some different headshots, different things like that, because I really do want to keep pushing. After Theo's live yesterday about content creation, it just gave me a lot of confidence and gave me another view of how to attack this YouTube space. And again, I really do want to start meeting some of y'all in public as time goes on. Let's get back to number 7, then we're going to close out. Never stop learning. I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. Everybody's your teacher. I'm going to bring it back on myself for a second. Let me read it one more time. Never stop learning. The Army teaches us that leadership skills are continuously evolving, and leaders should always strive to learn and improve.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Again, you got here to this leadership. Don't get stagnant in that leadership position. Look for the next thing that's going to challenge you. Try to be that leader when you get that difficult person. Can you be the person that kind of corrals them and brings them into the group thing to execute and do what the team needs to do? You got to be able to continuously learn, like number 7 just said. So you're continuously learning, again, reading through different things, meeting different people, having different situations, taking different assignments. The stuff that you don't think, I think I played that clip last week with the Kobe and Mike, when Kobe was talking about how he was expanding his business outside of basketball. When he finds a project to work on, like when he's working on his films, his video and stuff like that, and he was saying, hey, can you do this? And if the person says yes, that wasn't the project that he wanted. He wanted the project that made people kind of take a step back, question themselves, question their skills. That was the project he wanted to work on, because that's going to push you to get better. It's going to force you. If you're the type of person that don't like taking L's, don't like taking losses, it's going to force you to put your best foot forward, learn something new, master it, and then be able to execute it. Let's slide over to the comments real quick. Where we at? Sean says, I'm glad I was able to catch you. I thought it was 7:30 Central Time. No, I'm in Atlanta. I'm on, if I am on Central, I'll try to put something in there or let you guys know some kind of way, because sometimes, like, I think I did like a short or something while I was home in Alabama last week. Yeah, so if the time zones look a little bit different, I'll try to start injecting that in there, like 7 p.m. EST or something like that, because sometimes I am back home in Bama. Joseph in the building.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
I'm done with that shit. That shit won't stay lit. What's going on, Joseph? The damn cigar won't stay lit. But back to number 7. Never stop learning, y'all. That's a big part of leadership. Something that you did today as a leader, even though it looks like you won, go back and refresh it. When I do these videos, believe it or not, I don't go back and look at all of it, but I do go back and look at the ones that I think, okay, I could have said this better. I could have did this better. And I think I'm getting into more of a rhythm, especially in like my intros and stuff like that. Shout out to Corey Joe again, because he said my thumbnails are getting better. I'm getting into more of a rhythm of just learning more, doing a little bit more research. Again, in order to never stop learning and learning more stuff, you're going to have to do the boring shit. You're going to have to fucking read. You're going to have to hear something that you normally wouldn't have listened to, coming from somebody you wouldn't have normally spoken to. Look for different stuff on here on YouTube, because guess what? At your core, you're still who you are. It's something that you can just add to your toolbox. Again, I wasn't big on looking at a lot of these YouTube how to start videos. I tried it. So many were long. I just took some old videos, started throwing them on there, and then guess what? They weren't getting the traction I wanted, but I wanted to do something better. So I still ended up going back, having to listen to a lot of those videos and just taking pieces of them. This one gave me this. Okay, this one talked about the thumbnails. This one talked about the audio, and just started pushing it together. Again, I want to bring you guys good content. I want to be a good leader for you in the context of my page and what I'm bringing as far as content. So I had to go get a real mic. The USB mic wasn't working. And for any of those that may have donated months ago, the microphone, that's what y'all helped me get. I had to go get something real. so I could bring you better audio, because sometimes my audio was clipping, sometimes it would just mute itself, even worse than the couple of glitches I've had here this month. It would just stop. It would glitch, it would freeze, my computer would overheat, my camera would overheat. So I had to start piecing together better equipment, and that's where you get the soundboard.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease! Hotter than fish grease here.
Little things. Never stop learning. Everybody's your teacher, including your enemies. Y'all ain't got to get along. You don't got to like that person at the job, but you know that motherfucker's smart. You know they're better at paperwork than you are. They're more organized than you are. Now you can go in there and break a sweat on your brow and get the job done. But when you need to go to HR to get something done, you got to go there. When you need to go talk to somebody in the financial department, you go there. I was big on, and Antonio will tell you all the time, bro, I walked around that building a lot because I wanted people in different offices to see my face, because when I needed something, I needed it done. When our office needed something done, we needed it done. Because I had been there for so long and I had a rapport with different people, even if they were sending fucking emails and nobody was responding, Antonio, that's my nigga. He used to be in there cussing like, I sent this bitch an email 2 weeks ago. This motherfucker, did you talk to so-and-so? I'll go down there and talk to her. Not because he wasn't able to have the rapport, but that was already my job. So I already had that foundation. My job was to try to make his shit a little bit easier. But guess what? It worked, and again, coming back full circle. I tried to take care of my leader because my leader was taking care of me. He understood when I needed to go do something for my daughter, he understood that shit. Never had no problem with a working relationship with him. But guess what? When people were giving me pushback at the job and I needed his fucking rank at the time, I need a higher ranking sergeant. Hey, I told her, because he was like, I thought I asked you to do blah. I'm like, man, I talked to her or I talked to them and they didn't. I talked to that guy. Don't worry about it. Walk his ass down the hall, flex that muscle. Guess what? The shit got done. Because they weren't paying little old Sarge little old E5 Sarge, wasn't paying him no attention. E7 walked in, 16, 17, 18 years of experience. Hey, this, that, and the third. And something Antonio took. Look, he said, I'm telling family business. I'm telling family business.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
Look, but we got the job done. That's the ultimate thing. So we're all coming back together. That's the ultimate thing I'm talking about. So when I needed Big Sarge, I called Antonio. Hey, I need such and such. Don't worry about it. Went down there, talked to who the fuck he needed to talk to, flexed a little bit of muscle, brought his ass back to the office. We good? Don't even worry about it. I ain't say shit. That thing we were looking for, that memo, those documents, that money transfer, whatever, that shit got handled. But that's that flow that I keep talking about. You take care of your people, they gonna take care of you, and vice versa. And continuously learning. It's something that Antonio used to say all the time. This isn't a bad one. No, this ain't a bad one. But he used to say, hey, I don't need special treatment. I just need you to do your job. Never forgot that shit. So when I'm going to certain people now, because bro retired, salute to you, brother, for all your years of service. Hopefully I ain't too far behind you. But now I say the same shit. I don't need no special treatment. I just need folks to do their job. I could check that block. We ain't got to high five and be the best of friends. A good working relationship and rapport, awesome. Execution. Get it done. Put a bow on that number 7. Just never stop learning, y'all. You can learn from your junior soldiers. You can learn from, somebody above you. You can learn from somebody just on the outside looking in. When you come home and you had those conversations with your old lady, or you talking with your homeboys over a smoke, or y'all just chilling, man, got this going on at the job, blah, blah, blah. You know how we all just share these stories. Man, this crazy ass person, da, 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 da. Did you think about doing X, Y, and Z? Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. I didn't look at it like that because you may have been wrong in that situation. Now you got to go back and try to correct some things to keep that loyalty, that rapport intact. Nobody walks on water. I say it all the time. I tried to walk on water once. I got really, really wet. Everybody done made a mistake, man. That's part of being a leader as well. Owning up to that mistake. Doing better the next time out. Again, execution. I'm big on work ethic. And I don't mean just milling around doing, I hate busy work. Can't fucking stand it. I'm big on purpose. What is the purpose of this? Why are we trying to execute this job? So that's part of never stopping learning too. Because if you see a process that isn't working, you may have to be that person to flat out stop doing it or change up the process so everybody can win. Especially your team, which is ultimately going to mean you're going to win. Slide back over to the comments and then we're going to bounce. Big one, Sean. You learn until you stop breathing.
You go, girl.
Quiet Storm says less excuses, more execution. But god damn it, man, hold on. You gonna get all three for that week. First,
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man. Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Bring that one back up. Less excuses, more execution. Big one. Get it done. That's big in the Army. Mission come first. Yes, take care of your people. Yes, be a leader. We got a job to do. Let's fulfill this job. That's when you adjust, when you're down a person. I almost said lost, but not everybody dies. People get sick. When you're down a person, the job, the mission still come first. You still got a job to do. Finish it. Then take your breath, take your break, rehash it. Go over the things you did right. Go over the things that you did wrong. Another Army thing, we call it after action review. I don't know where the fuck all these planes are coming from. I guess people flying back into town. But we call it an after action review, AAR. After we done something, 3 ups, the things you did right, 3 downs or 3 improvements. Things we fucked up and how can we fix it? That simple. Quiet Storm brought it home. Less excuses, more execution. Be that leader. I'm gonna bring these Army values up one more time. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage, leadership. Go over these additional 7 real quick. Communication is key. Lead from the front. Adaptability. Take care of your team. Be decisive. Share the credit. And never stop learning. Really hope y'all enjoyed this one. I know this was more boring. It wasn't as salacious, but take that with you. Again, I want brothers to find their positive. Fuck it. If you're already doing these things, hopefully you found something in here you're not sure of, or you wasn't aware of, or that you may have been doing that you weren't aware that you were doing, and I might have just jogged your memory. Again, just been that splash of cold water that you needed. So now that you realize you already walking in that leadership position, y'all know what I'm gonna say. Don't let these crazy dizzy ass bitches get your ass off goddamn course. You're a leader, brother. You already been fucking executed. You already been killing your job. Now it's just time to get better. Get back over into the comments real quick. Sean says 100 fire for Quiet Storm's comment. Joseph says fire. Salute to Corey Joe. Sean says this was good tonight. Salute to everybody. Brothers, you already walking in it. You already walking in it, bro. Take this, run it back, chew on it, find your favorite part, chop it up, share it, have the conversation with your boys. Build. I'm big on building men over here. Because guess what? I'm still building myself. It is a constant. Sean said something you're going to learn until you die. I'm going to tell you again what my grandfather said. By the time you figure all this shit out, somebody gonna be putting you in the ground. Again, this is Growth Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Kofa, not Coffee, not Kufi, not Kufi or Kufu or any variation thereof. This is Growth Talk Podcast. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. As always, brothers, you matter. You're not crazy. Make better choices. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm bringing smoke tomorrow. I'm going live at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow. So we're going to have some smoke tomorrow. But I hope this helped y'all tonight, man. Peace.